welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Lacey Jane, and today I wanted to switch things up a little bit for you guys and share just something that I've kind of been doing that's been helping me with my anxiety. And this is more like a physical activity, okay, you got to get up to do this. But what I wanted to share is not just for anxiety, it's also for like if you have depression. Sometimes when I'm depressed, I really don't want to do anything. If you have anxiety, if you have just something that could be coming up for you and you can kind of like energetically feel it in your body. And what that is therapeutic tremoring or therapeutic shaking, whatever you want to call it. I call it just like shaking it out. And so basically, like, what is this, right? So this is basically like a release exercise that's going to help you to release whatever's coming up for you, whether that be tension, whether it be anxiety, pent up energy that you have, which essentially just means that it's trying to bring your body back to its normal equilibrium. So like when you have anxiety, when you have anger, when you have gone through just something traumatic, it causes your body to kind of like act differently. Basically, we shake anyway when our body is functioning in like high stress, or if you're like blacking out, just basically because your body is trying to release pent up energy or basically pent up emotions. It's just trying to kind of get the energy out, basically. So like, for example, when I got into a car accident one time, I basically blacked out and I was just shaking the entire, like I couldn't really, it's not something that I could mentally just control, but I was shaking because it was a high stress situation. And this happens all the time with people. Like you'll notice if people do get into car accidents or something really traumatic happens to them, their body just automatically is going to start shaking because it's the body's natural response to try to get the energy out. But we're not really taught how to get the energy out correctly. And this isn't necessarily something like you don't have to do this. Like if you're in a car accident, like obviously if something happens that's traumatic in the moment, like you probably need to chill out for just a moment and like process it. But this is just like everyday situations. If you don't release the energy, it's just going to start getting pent up. So that's kind of why I've started doing this shaking. And fun fact, so when your brain is kind of like reliving these traumatic moments, when your brain is like reliving something really life altering or something really traumatic or something that's making you incredibly anxious, your brain doesn't know the difference between something that you're thinking about and something that's actually happening. So if you're thinking about something really traumatic, your brain thinks that it's actually happening right now. So it's going to start sending that signal to your body, thus creating the anxiety that's happening in your body. So it's a physical manifestation of what you're actually thinking about. So how do I shake? So first, what I do is I try to find like a really nice, comfortable spot where I have plenty of room. I usually just go into my bedroom. I don't have a crazy amount of room, but if you have a crazy amount of room, that's absolutely perfect. So I just make sure that I have room and I've cleared everything off of my floor so that I'm not like bumping into things and like stepping on things, and I have just the room to like be comfortable and like move around. So then I like to choose like a song or a playlist that is energetically kind of gonna align with me releasing something that's really gonna pump me up, that's gonna make me want to move my body and shake. And for me personally, here lately, what has been really doing it for me is African, like traditional African drum music. And I actually have created a playlist for you guys for what I listen to. It's like 5 different songs, and all the songs are at least like 30 minutes. I think there's one that's like 3 minutes on there, but all of the songs are at least like 30 minutes long. So you have plenty of time without having to like get on there and like change the song. You have plenty of time to like listen and shake at the same time. But for me, that's just the music that really pumps me up. But there's no like right or wrong way. Like there's no like right sound or wrong sound. Personally, I would recommend doing something that's going to pump you up. I would listen to anything that gets you really hype. You can have lyrics if you want to, or if you don't want to, whatever's gonna get you moving. And then once I have put my playlist on, I kind of just stand there for a little bit and I focus on like the pulsating in my skin and the anxiety basically intensifying. I focus on whatever it is that I'm feeling that's kind of coming up for me. And so what I do with focusing on this is basically I'm recognizing and I'm acknowledging the anxiety that I have. So I start to think about it and I'm like, okay, I have this anxiety. Okay, it's coming up for me. Okay, I feel anxious. And then I start to mentally kind of locate it in my body. So I'm like, okay, so I feel sweaty, I feel throbbing, I feel like my hands are sweaty and throbbing, I feel like my shoulders and my neck are really tense right now, I feel like maybe I have a slight headache, I feel like my body is just really tense, my shoulders just feel like they need to be loosened up, my feet feel really tense, or my legs, like wherever it is, like maybe the pit of my stomach doesn't feel really great right now because I'm anxious. Wherever it is, I try to locate that. And I think that locating where the feelings are is really important because you're acknowledging, for one, that they're there and where they are, and it's also going to help you when you're shaking to kind of focus, because like think about like when you're working out, like people say that when you think about the muscle that you're working, it helps you to actually work the muscle out. Well, when you think about the location of where you're going to be shaking, or like the location of where the energy is kind of blocked in your body, it's going to help you to kind of shake that energy out. And also, when you locate and acknowledge everything, this is taking your power back. This is saying, I see you and I recognize you and I have the power to get rid of you. So I have the power to get rid of this anxiety. And then I put my hands on my heart and I say, I accept this as my current state. And then I basically just start to envision this circle around me. Like basically the whole room is filling up with white light. And I start to really envision the white light kind of like slowly spreading into the room. And then I start to feel like it's kind of like sparkly white light. So I start to feel tingles. Like I feel like the white light is so close to me that I can feel the warmth. It's so close to me that I can feel the tingles. It's so around me that I'm completely surrounded by it. And what this white light kind of represents for me is just protection. Like I feel the protection around me, and that kind of gives me like permission to go ahead and release. Like it's okay for me to have this anxiety and release it. It's okay for me to put it out and let it go and let it flow. And then I start to slowly just kind of sway. I just kind of sway with it. I start moving my hands, I start moving my arms, I just kind of get into it and then just get into the flow of the music. The music is one thing that really, really helps me to start moving and to get into flow and to really feel the release happening. And then once I start to go ahead and flow, I start to basically repeat whatever it is that is being like brought up for me. So whatever it is that is coming up, whether it's anxiety, whether it's tension, whether I'm thinking about something or a limiting belief, or I don't believe that I'm worthy or something like that, whatever it's coming up for me, I start to hype that energy up and let it just kind of boil over. Just let it come out. So for example, if I'm having all of these thoughts, like maybe I'm believing currently that I'm not worthy. Maybe that is what is coming up for me, and I'm like that's what's coming up in my day to day. And then for some reason, maybe I start thinking about a past moment in my life where I really felt unworthy, and I really felt like I wasn't deserving of good things in my life. So maybe that's what's coming up for me. So at this moment, in this shaking therapy session, I would say, okay, I feel that I'm not worthy. Why do I feel that I'm not worthy? I feel like because this one time so-and-so told me I wasn't worth, like something. Bring it up, just keep bringing it up so that it's coming out. Like, I feel like I'm not worthy. I feel like I'm not good enough. I feel like I don't deserve good things. And I know that probably sounds contradictory because like you're saying all these things that are not actually affirmations, but I like to bring it up so that it boils over. I like to bring it up to get it out and make myself angry. Like, this is ridiculous that I believe this. I believe that I'm not worthy. This is so crazy. I can't believe I believe this. I just keep like bringing it up. Like, I'm so mad that I believe this, blah, blah, blah. And then after the uptick, after I'm like finally reached that boiling point and I've boiled over, I start to oppose the affirmation. I start to say really good things, and I start to shake and shake that energy out. I start to shake, saying, you know what, I am worthy. You know what, I am deserving. You know what, I do deserve good things in my life. You know what, I am so amazing just the way that I am. I start to just like shake, saying those affirmations. And as I'm shaking and saying those affirmations, I am throwing that negative energy that I've been holding in my body out into the light surrounding me. It's going out, and I'm feeling good, and I'm saying my new affirmations, and I just keep doing it. Like I just keep doing it until I start to like feel really good with saying this new affirmation. And what saying this affirmation kind of does is it brings like a whole new kind of energy to me. Like I start to feel uplifted, I start to feel energized, I start to feel motivated, and I slowly start to feel this stuff kind of sinking in, because it's like the music, the affirmation, the boiling over, all of it kind of combined creates this whole new energy that I'm ready to like take this day. Then I just kind of let myself like continue to shake until I feel like I'm good, basically. And this is like a self kind of judgment. Like you're gonna know when you're starting to feel good. And so after I have felt pretty good, like I feel like, okay, I feel like I am an entirely new person from when I went into this, then I start to envision the white light kind of surrounding me, and I just start to say thank you. I just thank the universe, basically thank myself for that experience, thank the universe for listening to me and letting me release that energy back to wherever it needs to go to be transformed into some other kind of energy, and just thank myself for having the strength and the resilience to acknowledge what I was feeling and to address what I was feeling. And then I just kind of envision the white light that's surrounding me just kind of disappearing and sparkling back into the air, wherever it came from. And that's pretty much the extent of it. And then after that, like that's a really great time to kind of journal. And I'll notice that sometimes when I do go through this exercise, like I have messages or downloads that'll come up, or there's like a lesson that I've learned throughout it, or just something may have popped into my head and I just need to journal about it. And so journaling is a really great activity to do after this, or you can just get up and kick this day's ass. Whatever works for you. But the main lesson that I have really found in doing this is that I have learned to start to accept that it's okay to have these emotions. It's okay to have anxiety and like struggle sometimes. And my willingness to get up and to shake it out and address it and look it dead in the eye and say, I am going to take my power back, is a really great and just powerful feeling, man. Like I feel so energized and rejuvenated once I've done this. But like I said, there is, of course, no one way to do this. So if you have found that the way that I do it is weird and you want to add something or remove something, or maybe you have another way that you want to do it, that's totally fine. Like I believe that there's no one size fits all to anyone's healing journey and anyone's journey and trying to heal like their anxiety and their emotions and anything that comes up. There's just no one size fits all. What works for me isn't going to work for you, and vice versa. So I think that if you do find a way that works for you, if you do end up trying this, then comment below and let me know. I really would appreciate it because I'd love to know what you think. I also want to say that, you know, previous Lacey, the Lacey that never did any like kind of self-development, any kind of work on herself, this was years ago, I probably would have dealt with my anxiety by pushing it down and laying on my couch and crying all night while I watched something sad and depressing on Netflix. Which, you know what, that could be like a healing process in its own, but now I've learned how to deal with things. And then the previous Lacey, the Lacey that was kind of like into spiritual, personal development, whatever, she probably would have just journaled and then like called it a day. But the fact that I have been getting up and doing something crazy, like shaking in a room by myself, looking like a crazy person, It speaks volumes about my growth for one, but also I'm pretty proud of myself. So I do challenge you to try something new today. Try something that you've never done before. You never know, it probably could like really change your life. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something new, if you thought it was hilarious, if you really just liked me making a fool of myself, then make sure that you subscribe to this channel and like this video and just leave a fun, sweet little comment for me. I hope that you guys have a wonderful, beautiful, amazing rest of your day, and I am sending you all of the peace to get through whatever is coming up for you right now. I will see you again next week. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you. Bye.